You guys friggin' asked for it. This is not CHCO-TV. That was the call sign until 2012. I am in the CHCO-TV television station, Charlotte County Television, here in St. Andrews, New Brunswick. And several of you have asked me, not only on YouTube but on Twitter as well, to do a video tour of this place. Well, I am here alone tonight, and I've been given permission to do just that. So here we go. We're in the lobby right now. Down there is the server room. That's the control room. That's the editing room. And that's the studio. So let's begin by going in the studio here. We're in the studio. There's lots of LED studio lighting. Extremely bright, but not powered on right now. And this is where all the shows happen that we produce in-house, pretty much. This little room does like half a dozen different shows, at least. Incredibly efficient. We're a tiny station, not much funding, not nearly as much funding as we should be getting. And we make very efficient use of this space. We got a green screen curtain. Over there's the set for one show. Over there's the set for another show. There's our bingo machine, which is over there during TV bingo. And then this is our main set. You can see the current logo, current call sign. And you've seen our studio cameras here. This one's actually powered on right now. These are Hitachi cameras. They're 15 or 20 years old. Still in regular use every day. We're not fully high definition yet. We still do a lot of shows. We do all our live shows in standard definition because we don't yet have the capability to do live shows in high definition, but shows that aren't live we do in high definition. These cameras would have been $20,000 or $30,000 a piece. They got these black and white viewfinders on them. When we do a show in high definition, we use one of these. These are our modern field cameras. We use them in the field, but we also use them here in the studio for high definition. Canon XF305. It's a 3 CMOS camera, 1080p. There's a lot of old equipment in here too. Take a look at this. We've got a Sony SVO 1410 VHS VCR from 1994, I think. Interesting professional grade VHS VCR because it's only VHS. It's not 4 head, it's only 2 head. And it's only and it's not hi-fi stereo. It's a mono machine. So very interesting that a professional grade VCR or commercial grade VCR would be mono and 2 head. This probably wasn't actually meant for broadcast use, but this would have been for commercial use or educational use. And then below it, we have this interesting JVC model HR DVS3U. It's a Super VHS and Mini DV dual VCR. Very cool. I don't know if either of these actually work. I would assume they do. Another stack of retired equipment up here, including this Panasonic SV4100 DAT? Is it DAT? Yeah, it's a DAT machine. It's a DAT cassette deck, complete with nice dampened spring-loaded shuttle wheel. That's pretty cool. Here's another one of those Panasonic convertible 3CCD cameras. And lots of random crap like this Sony dual monitor, composite monitor. Here's another one of our camera mounts. Sometimes it has one of the old Hitachi cameras on it. Sometimes it has a field camera on it. This one has a teleprompter. So the last show that was done in here this morning was a sort of a sermon-like show. She sits right here. And you have your teleprompter, which for some reason, there's a hole in it that you can see. Oh, that's where the camera goes through. But yeah, you've got this teleprompter monitor here, reflects off this semi-transparent mirror. Some more bits and pieces of our set. There's the monitor that's used during bingo for the bingo host. This sits in front of him so he can see himself. Just a standard old CRT television. And then you can see behind here we just have these old kitchen chairs for the desk. We have a couple of POTS phones here. We have 2 POTS lines running into the station. They're used on a few shows, especially the bingo show. People call in when they get bingo. A nice Northern Telecom Vista 350, which sadly isn't plugged in. It's just plugged into the line, but not to power. And this Northern Telecom Astra 9316 CW, which is also not plugged in. It's just plugged into the line. This is an old circa 2002, I think, Sony broadcast monitor. It's LCD. It looks like CRT, but it is LCD. And this is used every day. I don't know if there's any, I guess there's nothing going into it right now, but this is used for the host sitting here so they can see how they look. Random crap behind here. Make sure not to trip myself. Oh, that camera's turned on too. I should turn them off when we get into the control room. There's the other one there, currently taking a rest. And that's it. That's the studio. Very efficient use of space. A little bit messy because everything gets moved around for every single show. But that's how you do it. Let's go into the editing room. This is the editing room. We have an iMac and a couple of different PCs. So this iMac is what the station manager uses to edit all the shows using Adobe Premiere Pro. This PC, which I don't know if I can wake up or not, or the PC's awake. It'd be big trouble if it wasn't awake, because this PC, the one connected to this monitor, literally runs the station. It runs a piece of software called Masterplay, which is basically a sequencer. You shove in all the scripts and all the video files for your shows. Video files for the shows themselves, for station ID bumpers, for commercials, everything gets put in here. And you set it all up by hand, and you know, usually it stays set up for a week ahead. So this thing can just sit here and run for a week and run the station all by itself, except for live shows. For live shows, you interrupt it and you go live, obviously. But otherwise, when you're not doing a live show, this thing just runs the station without any human intervention. Very nice. And then we have this computer, which runs the community billboard. So the community billboard, it comes on overnight. So I'm not sure, I don't actually know if Masterplay does the switching from itself to the billboard, or if someone comes in to do it. But that computer runs the community billboard overnight. Just a running slideshow of local happenings. And it also serves as a contingency if you're in a live show or something and something goes horribly wrong. Usually we can switch to Masterplay if something goes wrong. We can hard switch over to Masterplay. But if for some reason we couldn't do that, we can hard switch over to the community billboard if something went terribly wrong while we were live. Or if something went wrong with Masterplay, we'd switch over to the billboard. There's really no use, so we don't go off air, so we don't have like a SMPTE off air screen that we ever go to. We've gone to it once when the station manager and I were running tests on adjusting some audio levels. It was 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night. So we actually did make we used Premiere to make a color bar, SMTPE bar with 1000 hertz tone. And we stuck it into, actually we didn't stick it into Masterplay, we stuck it straight into the video feed, and we played that over the air for 10 or 15 minutes while we adjusted some audio levels. Oh, this guy! Oh man, I almost forgot about this. Let me turn my light on. This is a Sony UVW 1800 Betacam SP VCR. Obviously retired. We're not using this anymore, but it stays around here. It stays plugged in. I can turn it on, and it gives you a cute little welcome message, and it works just fine. We have lots of Betacam tapes here, you can see, and this is hooked up. I will put a tape in it. It's hooked up to this LCD monitor on composite line B. So there's the master play going right now. And then I go to line B, and it's on the VCR here. Rather than putting one of the little tapes in, I'll show you one of the big Betacam tapes. This is a Betacam SPL tape. Look at that. Much bigger than a VHS tape. That is pretty darn cool. This one's actually only a 60-minute tape. Let's stick this in here. Just like that. Threads it up. Let's hit play. There we go, we got some color bars. Volume's up. Let me fast forward a bit here. Oh yes, these are some 90s 3D animations that the station manager did back when he worked at another community television station. These were made on a Commodore Amiga. No sound to this. It's just, let me fast forward again. Just some Amiga renders for various shows. I'm just fast forwarding through here. A very 8-bit looking map. There you go, huh? A UVW 1800, a very popular VCR for its time in the 90s and 2000s. And much loved VCRs today. The UVW 1800 is a very robust, very reliable VCR. These things are aging excellently. And they're just it's not an editing grade deck. It's very simple controls, you can see. Even simpler once you close the little door. This was one of at least 3 units in its original life. Betacam SP. What a nice machine. Very quiet and smooth operating. I'm going to rewind this all the way. It's got a vacuum fluorescent display VU meter, and this is vacuum fluorescent display as well, dot matrix. And it'll take the small and large size Betacam tapes. Wonderful VCR. These are very nice machines. And I think we're done rewinding. Very nice. Betacam SP. Down here we have a Sony VHS VCR of some sort. Hi-Fi stereo. Date code on it's 9B, so I assume middle of 1999 by the looks of it. No idea what the story on that is. I've never plugged it in or tried it or anything like that. Let's shut this off and turn this off. Oh, you can see our little monitors we have here. That's connected to the community billboard. And these are all from Masterplay in various stages of the video chain. This is going to Masterplay. This is coming from our video switcher, and this is coming from the transmitter itself. So you can see all three stages. If something were to break, we can tell what exactly broke based on what's still running and what's not. So let's shut our monitor off here and move on. This is the control room. There's a lot of cool stuff in here. This is the not leaning tower of American Power Conversion smart UPSs. I pulled these in here from the server room because we thought we might test them. They've been sitting for a long time, test them and put them into use, but then we found some rack mount smart UPSs that we'll use instead. So I'll put these back in the server room before I leave here. But here's the control room. Let's start in this stack here. There's a rack mount smart UPS 1500. Just today I put new batteries in it. For at least a year, I think, everybody was dealing with it beeping once in a while because the batteries needed to be replaced. And he had new batteries sitting around but never put them in, so I put them in today. And now it's very happy. Run a self-test here. Currently on battery power, holding at 100% charge, and it's done, back on AC. Perfect. Working excellently. That's the computer running Masterplay. And then we have a bunch of switchers and stuff here. This is a solid state recorder. So when we do live shows, when we do some live shows and all non-live shows, SSD gets shoved in here, records the show. This switcher with the red light on it right now is very important. This is our master switching. This switches between the Masterplay or live or the audience billboard computer. So when we're doing a live show, it's on Live Studio. It's on Live Studio right now, even though we're going through the Masterplay, because you can pipe the Masterplay through to the live. And we do that so that we can have a crawl on the bottom of the screen. Currently, Masterplay itself doesn't have that functionality. So if we were to put it on Masterplay, it would not have the crawl. And we want the crawl, so we keep it on live and then just feed the Masterplay right into the video switcher. And then billboard goes to the billboard computer. And this is where we run to if something goes horribly wrong. If we've ended a live show and for some reason the switcher gets messed up and we don't go to Masterplay, somebody runs over, hits that switch, and then we're on the Masterplay. Look at this cool monitor, huh? It's a Sony Trinitron CVM something or other, CVM 12 something or 13 something. It's a 12 or 13 inch monitor. This is sort of a low-end version of the BVM and PVM monitors. It's a commercial grade monitor still, but it has no RGB, it's just composite. CVM literally stands for composite video monitor. It's basically a television. It has an RF input and it has a composite input, but it was meant for commercial use. We can turn it on here.
Let's go beyond that.
This is connected directly to the output of our transmitter, tuned to channel 26. So if you're ever unsure of exactly what viewers are seeing right now we know. This will tell you. This is right on the output of the transmitter. And for some reason the picture is jittering right now. I hope that's just the monitor and not the and not the actual output. But there it is. We can also, it's also set to, I think it's on channel 3. Yes. Channel 3 is our feed to Bell subscribers. If you have Bell Satellite TV or Bell Fibe TV here in Canada, you can pick us up. This is our feed from the Bell router. So if our Bell subscribers who are watching us aren't getting us for some reason, they call in, hey, I can't see your channel. We can tune this into channel 3. We know exactly what our Bell subscribers are seeing. And then this is our UHF over the air. And we do have sound.
I don't think it's there yet with the institutional investors.
We're going to be replacing this thing, and I think I'll get to keep it when we do. This is incredibly worn out. This monitor is such a trooper. This is going to be replaced with a modern high definition monitor, because in a couple of years we will be going high definition. We will be shutting down our analog transmitter, and we'll have a new high definition digital transmitter. We have to. We're government mandated to do that. Which is sad, you know, losing one of the only analog television stations in Canada, but that's the price of progress and the price of keeping up with regulations, unfortunately. But that's just the way she goes. But this monitor's such a trooper. It's been here, it's probably ex-CBC or something, from the early 90s or late 80s if I had to guess. And this is just run, oh, this is in the studio right now, you can see. This is a recorded show that was recorded in the studio. And, oh, I wonder if the V-hold is. I think he was messing with the V-hold. There we go. That was what was wrong. The V-hold was messed up. Okay, phew. That makes me feel better. This has probably been in continuous service its entire life, and this thing works awesome, and it's so cool because the tube, the CRT, is so damn worn out. The colors are all faded. It's super dim. The brightness is turned up all the way, so the contrast is really poor, but you need to do it to have it bright enough to see it clearly. The tube in this thing is worn the frig out, but it still works perfectly, and it's so awesome. It's so cool that this thing has been such a trooper 30 years running and still working perfectly. It's had such a productive life that the tube is worn out. Really neat. So that's that. And we have some more switching equipment up here. We have a lot of monitors here, some of them CRT, some of them LCD. These were just put in to replace some LCD monitors that weren't working anymore. One of them was not working. So these are just normal standard definition composite monitors. You can switch between 4x3 and 16x9. So this is a 4x3 show, I can tell. No sound on these. And then we have this Marshall monitor right here that's monitoring all the cameras. There's camera 1, there's camera 2, which is looking a bit dim. Camera 3, which we looked at, we saw it was outputting color bars. There's the color bars. And then 4 is not hooked up to anything. And these are the camera switchers for those Hitachi cameras. We can control them from in here. The white balance, the gain, the aperture. And we can put it on and off color bars. So you can see camera 3, which is outputting the color bars. If I hit bars here, it warms up and produces a picture. And we use these dials here, usually to adjust the aperture if things are looking a bit bright or dim. Because that happens, you know, depending on the time of day and stuff. The ambient light in the room, in addition to the studio lighting, can change. So if I, camera 3, if I hit iris and then turn the dial here, you can see it's brightening up. That's up all the way. Turn it down. That's down. They're all dim right now because the studio lighting's off. I always forget that when the studio lighting's off, these cameras don't show much of anything. But once the studio lighting's on, that's when they're appropriately bright. Then we have these cool monitors, these Sony high-resolution Trinitron. These are, you know, BVM or PVM monitors. These are high-end stuff, and they're so cute. 6 or 7 or 8 inches. And I think only one of these is hooked to power. Yeah, this one's hooked to power. What about this one? Oh, this one's not hooked to power. This is supposed to be connected to our Rogers feed, so for our Rogers television subscribers, we can see exactly what they see in case something goes wrong with our Rogers transmitter. But this one's not hooked up to anything? Yeah, I don't know. There seems to be nothing hooked up to it for some reason. But it's there. This computer runs the on-screen graphics for our live shows. Like for bingo, we have a bingo board up here, which gets shown up here. And there you can see me in the reflection. And then this computer does our live streaming. Some of our shows we live stream on Facebook and YouTube. And so the computer, which is down here, this is what we use to pipe our shows through to the internet for live streaming. This is our video switcher. It's a cute little Ross Carbonite. Very cool unit. If I just wake it up here. We are on live, so I can't touch anything here because it will affect what people see. In fact, just for my own sanity, I'll turn the CVM back on. Just to make sure that touching it didn't change anything. But yeah, this is a pretty neat piece of equipment. All the buttons have RGB LEDs under them that can show every manner of color. Let me lower the exposure here so you can get a sense. It's a very pretty piece of equipment. Very cool. And it's got different controls on it. It's got this handle here so you can manually time switching from one program to another, whether it be a camera, or in our case, right now, we're on number 6, which is the master play. If I were to press 1, 2, or 3 right now, it would literally switch to the Hitachi cameras live, and people would all of a sudden see a camera pointing at nothing, so we won't touch this. But yeah, it does a cute little attract mode when it hasn't been touched in a while, and stuff like that. This microphone, which is connected to this microphone routing box we use to talk to people in the studio during live shows. And then we have this is something like 20 years old, Sony video switcher, which, as far as I know, we only use for bingo now. And the only reason we use it is because it has a cute retro video effect. Like during bingo, the host is here in this corner, and then up the side of the screen here is the numbers that have been called, and then down here we have a company's logo for the company that sponsored that particular game. And when the game ends and we want to expand the host to the whole screen rather than just his little window, we'll use this thing. And because this thing is from like the late 90s or early 2000s, it's got some really like absolutely 90s or 2000s digital effects. And so we use it for bingo just because it's cool and we like it. We think it's adorable. The particular transition we use is sort of a page flying. So when we want to bring him to the whole screen, he sort of swoops in and blows up. It's it's not as gaudy as effects from like the 80s and stuff, but it's certainly not something that would be used in television programming today, but we use it just because we can and we think it's awesome. And that's pretty much the only reason this thing is still here. Then it's cool. Actually, it's not just the transition. We actually need this thing for bingo because this is what does the alpha channel stuff that puts him up in a little window. This is the piece of equipment that does the putting him up in a window. So that's why this thing is used. It might be used for a couple other shows, I don't know. This is our audio board. You can see master play. The volume's up right now. If I were to touch these, it would literally change the volume of what our viewers are hearing right now. And likewise, if if any of these switches over here were up while I was in the studio accidentally, that would have been bad because my talking in this video would have been heard by our viewers in addition to the master play audio. So because we're on master play, everything stays down except for the master play audio. This is our telephone switchboard if anybody calls in during a live show. And some of our audio patching and level equipment. And this is here literally just because the station manager thought it was awesome. I don't think it's even hooked up. No, it's not even hooked up to power. But it's this old Sony CDP D500 commercial grade CD player. And it looks cool, and that's why it's here. Another Sony high resolution Trinitron. This one is plugged in. This is to our master video output before the transmitter. So this is between all of this stuff and the transmitter. And it's a really sharp picture. Really nice picture on this thing. So there's that very nice monitor. This is what we call the executive desk. There's a laptop that sits up here, and it runs the monitor in the studio behind the main desk. There was a TV you could probably see there. This monitor, or this computer, shows, better not forget my glasses, this shows what was being displayed on the monitor. So during bingo, we have a cute little bingo background that this thing plays. Or I say plays, the way we literally put pictures on the monitor is by setting them as the Windows background on this computer. That's how we do it, and it friggin' works. But for our other shows, we have fancy backgrounds made up for them. And yeah, you just set it as the background on this computer, and the monitor in the studio is set as a second monitor, and it just shows on the studio. Some cool stuff in here. Unfortunately, my battery's low, so I can't turn the flashlight on, but there's the Panasonic AG7350 that I previously showed in a video. And a bunch of audio patch boards. And some more POTS phones sitting around. And some solid state video recorders down there that aren't being used anymore. Bunch of stuff in there. And then over in this room, is a bunch of archived media and some other junk. A lot of Betacam tapes. In there, there's Super VHS tapes. And I found a bunch of mini DV tapes here, including a lone DV cam tape, a real DV cam tape. Complete in the plastic case. Pretty neat. And then a bunch of hard drives and stuff. So that's about it for that. And then finally, I'll show you the server room. Let me turn the lights off in here. This is the server room. It's very hot and very noisy. And that is our transmitter. That is shoving 480 watts into the antenna on the roof. And this equipment here belongs to Bell and Rogers. That's their routing equipment. We have a monitor here that I'm not sure is hooked up to anything. It's plugged into power. There we go. So there's that. Not hooked up to sound apparently. And then there's a lot of junk in here, and then back here. Right there in this corner was where the Betacam SX VCR was when I discovered that and freaked out. What a rat's nest, huh? That's an air conditioner. We have to have that in here, or all of this equipment, which probably totals maybe $250,000. If we didn't have this there, this stuff could overheat, which would be very, very sad and extremely expensive. That electrical panel is where we turn on our studio lighting. And that's friggin' it. My battery's about to die. So there you go. A tour of CHCO-TV. Charlotte County Television. Channel 26, one of the last community television stations in Canada. A relic. And this place is awesome, and we do really good stuff here. We make really good programs, and we're just so efficient with the little amount of funding we get, and, you know, the age of some of our equipment and everything. We make amazing shows. The production quality in the shows that air here are amazing. So much less overhead than the major television broadcasters. Everybody here does incredible work, and I'm really proud to be able to contribute and volunteer here. So there you go.